Daryl, good to see you. I know you are an expert in this, but there are different rules when it comes to investing during retirement. We can't be doing the same thing with our money. So, what is the biggest takeaway that we need to remember?
That it's not the same,
Mm,
that the rules are different. So in we'll go through the different rules, but they're different. When you're accumulating money, it is a whole different ball of wax. The sequence of returns, how the markets behave year to year, doesn't matter. I tell this to my sons all the time. It does not matter what is happening in the market. Just keep contributing, keep putting money away. The market goes down a little bit. You just buy more. And so it's very different. The objective always, Aaron, I always have one big objective. And that's that I want people to be able to spend more money when they're younger and healthier, or leave more money to their children or whomever if they like them. But if we're going to do that, we're going to be living by a different set of rules. Look, it's not easy. It's not easy. The guy that created the 401k, Ted Benna, in 1974, I believe it was, the 401k came into existence, and the companies loved it because it put the burden of retirement planning on the people
hmm
who are not like good at it.
hmm
And so Ted Benna thinks that he created a monster. I saw a great quote the other day from a Nobel Prize winner, William Sharp. I know you're familiar with his work.
Yeah,
He says
Bill.
deaccumulation is different, right? The individual's deaccumulation phase is the nastiest, hardest problem I've ever looked at. So,
hmm
so the rules are different, and I think one of the things I try to convey the most to people, that if they want to spend more money when they're younger and healthier, I say that in my classes all the time. I make all the people say the healthier part, the audience participation. But if they want to spend more money when they're younger and healthier, which I think should be the goal, that the rules are different.
Daryl, I know you have 4 rules when it comes to investing when you are retired. And rule number 1, never take income from an account that has investment risk. Why is that?
Because we don't need to. We don't need to. The way that people get hammered in retirement, and we've talked about this a lot, Aaron, different set of rules in retirement. The way they get hammered is that they're partly too conservative, which might seem like that's a good thing, but then they're not going to have as much money if they're too conservative. But at the end of the day, when people go to a 30% stock, 70% bond portfolio, or 40, 60, or something along those lines, and then they take money out of that account to pay bills, they are still taking risk with money they need to pay their bills. And
hmm
so we've talked at times about the concept of segmenting, Aaron, where we're going to separate retirement funds into buckets of money, and everybody, most everybody I meet is going to have some money that will be considered legacy money, some money that they're going to need in the first 5 years of retirement. And at the end of the day, certainly with interest rates being where they are right now, which is pretty high still, right? I think you could still get between 4 and 5%. There really is no reason that money you need for the next 5 years, the next 3 years, that you should be taking risk. So that's probably the number one rule I have. And that's that we just don't take risk with money we need to pay our bills.
And the why of it is, though, that you would essentially be locking in your losses if you're tapping that investment money when the market's down.
Well, I could talk until I start crying about that, Aaron. I mean,
Don't cry.
I won't cry. I sold a business in 2007, and I got hammered. And I don't really feel like recounting that right now because I'm having a good day. But I got hammered, and that's because when you sell into weakness, it means you have to sell more to raise the same amount of money. And when that's the case, because markets will come back if they are down, then you get to a position where you're just going to have less money left over. So on the surface, it's just like, let's use higher interest rates. I hope we don't ever get back to a position where we're at 0% interest, where the risk-free rate is 0. I hope we never get back to that position. And if we stay at 3%, 4%, 4.5%, 5%, then we have the ability, the great opportunity to lock money up in a way that it can't lose value, and then to use that money to cover our living expenses.
Balancing growth and protection.
That's right. That's right.